Hello, everybody. It's Dave Neal, stand-up comic and host of Bachelor Nation News. Happy Friday to everyone out there. We have a very interesting story in the cat and mouse chase known as Clayton Echard v. Jane Doe's paternity scandal, which some are now calling a hoax, a con artist job of epic proportion. Well, the support group created to elevate Clayton's story as a survivor has actually been banned by Reddit. Now, why is this a big deal? Well, of course, it's important that Clayton get his justice. And some say, well, we all know the truth. We know what's going on out there. Well, not everybody does. There's only a couple thousand people that have really been following the story right now. But what's important is, in today's world, 2024, is to have a home base for all of the content. Not content that's shaming somebody else. I don't think any of us want that. I don't think this is the place to be shaming the person who some are believing to be, having orchestrated multiple, attacks really on character of multiple men, namely Greg Gillespie, Mike Maricini, am I pronouncing that right? Clayton Echard, Andrew, Matthew, and who knows who else. I mean, I could make the argument I've been mischaracterized. Now, all we ask for is a fair fight. So I'm going to share with you some things that I think are important for us to continue to tell this story. This story of Clayton Echard being sucked into a quote-unquote contractual, I don't even know how to describe it, but you understand what I'm talking about, right? Date me for a week and I'll abort the baby. People go, wow, how little she cared about these unborn twins that she was willing to abort them just to go on a date with Clayton Echard. No offense to Clayton. We love Clayton, but really? That was the leverage you were trying to pull on him? I'll get plan B if you date me, then it's too late. I'll abort the baby if you date me, then it's too late. Well, I had a miscarriage. And we called that from a mile away. And now in Clayton's court case, which is February 27th, Clayton's side begging multiple times, provide us fetal birth certificates, fetal death certificates, provide us ultrasounds, provide us access to your healthcare provider so we can at least verify these claims you're making, because anybody in reality that goes through, something like a stillbirth or miscarriage, it's a tragic event that can really affect you for life, really. I mean, for those that are trying to bring babies into this world and life into this world, when God or forces that be, whatever you believe in, has a different plan for you, that can be very, very tough emotionally for families. People break up over these types of things, right? So we handle that with kid gloves. Well, to wake up to news that the Justice for Clayton subreddit has been banned. Now, why has it been banned? Well, the initial subreddit, which was titled Jane Doe, was banned because it, was a home for snark, even though there are plenty, you could justify it because there are plenty of good reasons to have that out there. But it begs a question about journalism, which is, how do we do proper journalism when companies like Reddit will just take down all of the evidence? It's almost like saying, I want to play you in a game of baseball, but you say, we don't need umpires. And I say, we need an umpire. The umpire is the court system, right? And by taking away Reddit, and by getting Reddit banned, at least this subreddit, she's taking away the platform, the umpire, the truth that exists. And whether she likes it or not, the truth is in the court documents. It's in the statements, the sworn statements from previous men and previous victims. And it's what the judge has said to her in the minutes and all these things. That all had a home at the subreddit, and it's now gone. Now, what can we do to better protect ourselves? Well, I'm going to tell you guys right now. I am going to, and again, this is 1000% free, what I'm telling you. In any off chance that my account ever gets banned or temporary banned, and you try to find Dave Neal and you're like, where did Dave Neal go on YouTube? I'm telling you right now, 2 free ways to stay in touch with me. There's a free option on Patreon. I'm not asking for a penny of your money, but if you join the free option, if there's any chance that we go away or you wonder what's going on, that is a direct way for me to reach out to you. And if you don't want to do Patreon, I have a newsletter. I don't use it often, but it is the safest place to continue growing, where I can compile your emails and reach out directly to you. Now, YouTube has been a very safe place for freedom of speech. It's been a very safe place for journalists to come and share information, which is extremely important. It's so important that I am actually very excited to announce to you that I've been accepted into the Society of Professional Journalists, which is the oldest society. It's the nation's most broad-based journalism organization dedicated to encouraging the free practice of journalism and stimulating high standards of ethical behavior. And you might say, well, what's the big deal here? You're not solving crime. You're not preventing wars. What kind of journalism is this? Well, while it may be just entertainment news to some, to the few that this has affected, to the few that she has wreaked havoc on, it is everything. Hashtag Free Press Friday, right? Our democracy relies on an informed citizenry. Information is what keeps us free from tyranny. Nancy Conway. So I'm not asking for anyone to go attack her. I'm not asking for anyone. We don't want that whatsoever. We just want the truth to be available. And while right now it's not available on the Bachelor Nation subreddit, on the Bachelor subreddit, Justice for Clayton, and people say, why? Well, in the last several weeks, I guess they've gotten more loose with their rules. I'm not blaming anybody. They got more loose with their rules and let the full name of Jane Doe on there, which I have every right to say. My First Amendment rights give me the right to talk about these very public court cases. With that said, I've operated at an abundance of caution not to share her name, namely to prove that I'm more concerned with the justice for Clayton and Greg and Andrew and Matt and Mike and I guess myself and any others she comes after, because it is about elevating the truth. And in a world where she's shared, maybe something that has 1% truth and she's blown that up. Oh, I tested positive on a pregnancy test. Well, that doesn't mean you get to claim you're pregnant for 24 weeks. If you just want to go move off to Mars and be pregnant, no one's going to care what you want to claim, but the fact that it affects other men, because she weaponized that against Clayton. She cost him tens, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. She weaponized that against Greg and Mike. She used that information to serve them protection orders at their places of work or going to restaurants that they're eating at. And she used shame as a weapon. And then today, while we think we know all the truth, we can see how easy it is for her to continue to get subreddits banned. So, like I said, all I'm telling you right now, the only thing that I can tell you from my platform is that join for free. And whenever I have information that I can give away for free, I'll give it to you. I'm going to make sure that you guys get this information. All you have to do is take your phone, turn the camera on, and just scan it over this image, and it'll pop up. Or just go to patreon.com/Dave Neal, and the same for this QR code. This will take you right to, I'm going to show it to you guys. This will take you right to my newsletter right here. And if you just click on it, it'll just ask you for some information. I'm not selling your information. I'm not giving it away. Generally, my newsletter is set up for stand-up tickets. Like, all right, I'll be in Duluth. If anyone lives in the area, I'll email you and this and that. But in the off chance that we get deplatformed or some other kind of serious issue happens, I want you guys to know that that's where I'll still be able to reach you. This is very important. People, a small minority of people will say, Dave, you're using this scenario to just continue to drive traffic to the other communities. I'm telling you right now, it's free. All I'm asking for is the ability to continue to connect with you in a time where everyone doesn't have that luxury. And as a proud member of the Society of Professional Journalists, I think we're entitled to get to a place where we share with you guys just the truth that is out there. Now, I am not alone. There are other content creators that are doing such good work in continuing to keep this story alive. Reality Steve. He doesn't get enough credit in the conversation for the conversations he's having. I'm going to play a clip from his podcast today, and you guys can listen for yourself. The logic that goes into the reason he's good at what he does is because he uses logic. He takes people's bullshit and he turns it around on them. I'm just going to play a clip of what he has said on today's podcast regarding what he believes, and I believe to be, the lies and the spin that Jane Doe has thrown into rewriting this story. We're not surprised. We knew this would happen, and now the day has come. Have a listen. This is Reality Steve's podcast.
That is the fact that what
Jane Doe
is doing is a giant disservice to women who have had abortions, who have had miscarriages, who have had stillbirths, who have infertility issues. Everything that she has done for the last 9 months is a slap in the face to these women. And I told you, I didn't even know this until after I was done recording with Dr. Catherine Sanderson, that
Jane Doe
posted a Medium article again yesterday, and it was full of
Dodo.
I mean, just in the first paragraph. You know, she wrote this on Wednesday, which would have been the date that her quote-unquote twins were set to be born. Remember, she said under oath, my twins are coming on February 14th. And then she wrote, you know, today has loomed heavy on my heart. There was no promise of joy this morning, no anticipation, only the profound weight of sorrow and unmistakable feeling of loss. And then she threw in this sentence. The journey through miscarriage is, in itself, a path paved with heartbreak and silent mourning of dreams that will never come to fruition. This woman thinks that she had a miscarriage at 7 months. Like, she doesn't even know that that's not what you call it at 7 months. I'm not even an expert on this stuff, and I've known this for months. It's not.
My guess is she does know that it's not called a miscarriage, but a stillbirth, but doesn't want to incriminate herself into providing that evidence. That's my guess.
Not a miscarriage when you're 7 months pregnant. So, you know, I had someone reach out to me who has had miscarriages in the past. And I just want to read you what she wrote me.
Oh, boy.
After reading
Jane Doe
this article.
Trigger warning, folks.
She said she blatantly says she miscarried. Guess what?
Dodo.
After 20 weeks, that's called a
Dodo.
fucking stillbirth. And goes into detail. It's really horrifying, and as someone who has actually experienced pregnancy loss and just had an extremely difficult and dangerous pregnancy, I'm beyond offended by it. I don't even have the words to explain to you how painful and cruel it is for her to make this shit up and write what she wrote. The only thing that's being made a mockery of is this true lived experience of an actual pregnancy loss. What is doing here is emotional terrorism. It's not just a slap in the face to women like me who have survived domestic violence, sexual assault, and or have lost children. It's more like she's flaying us alive.
You can go listen to more of Reality Steve's podcast. I can speak to some of the emails I get that are similar to Reality Steve's, which is probably very cathartic for people to write. I know Steve and I both got the same email from someone who gave birth to twins and after a week lost one of them. You know, the stories aren't rare. The stories of grief. And they inspire good people to come together to support each other. That's something I don't know that Jane Doe will ever know about. Good people coming together. While good people came together to create a support group for Clayton and elevate his story, rather than be a part of positive change, rather than be a part of community that brings each other up, it was just one more Jenga tower she wanted to tear down. I do believe a time could come where she has a come to Jesus moment. I do believe that. It ain't today. And I want nothing to do with her, but I will not stop pursuing the justice for all the people out there that feel like she has weaponized such a tragic experience. Again, join for free, patreon.com/Dave Neal. Not here to make a buck, just here to say, in the off chance we lose communication in one way or another, that's where you'll be able to find me. And also, my updates on the email list will put me right into your inbox. The conversation is not going away. We'll be back with more content right after this.